Alright, so it seems like the Eagles are doing everything possible to bounce back this week against Seattle, and that might include offensive coordinator Brian Johnson making some much needed changes to the play calling to fix the offense. Although Jalen Hurts believes it's on the players, as he called them out ahead of the game. Also, why is Sean Desai confident in the defense's ability to fix their issues, and could a possible answer to the problems be to play the rookie Syndey BRown more? Plus, Jason Kelce sounded off on the Eagles' struggles, and he and Nick Sirianni say that the Eagles are pissed off after these past couple weeks, so now, can they use that to their advantage? Well, we're going to talk about all that and more in this video today, so let's not waste any time and get straight into it. So despite all the negatives over the past 2 weeks, the Eagles are still in a really good spot, as with a win on Monday night, they will officially clinch a playoff spot. Now, the Eagles have had an opportunity to do that for the past couple weeks and failed to do so, so let's hope that they can right the ship and destroy that trend on Monday night. But to do that, they're going to have to do something that they haven't done in 15 years, and that's simply beat the Seahawks, as the Eagles have lost 7 straight meetings to Seattle, with their last win coming all the way back in 2008. So with all the struggles versus this team in recent history, and with all the struggles from the past 2 weeks just in general, the Eagles are seemingly trying to be extra prepared and focused this week, and part of that is adding an extra practice to the schedule, as normally at this point in the middle of the week, the Eagles hold a walkthrough before a couple practices the following 2 days, but on Thursday, Nick Sirianni decided to change that walkthrough to a full practice due to the fact that the Eagles got an extra rest day this week with the game being on Monday night, and he also said that he just wants to see them get out there and really work on the fundamentals, so hopefully this extra practice gets them a little more prepared and ready for this huge matchup. Now, someone who we know is going to be prepared is Jalen Hurts. Speaking of which, a really interesting stat has come to light recently involving Hurts that really sheds some light more on the Eagles' offensive struggles. Now, the stat, which Shane Haft tweeted out, is that Jalen Hurts has an expected completion percentage of 61.2%, which is the second lowest mark in the NFL. Yet, Hurts' actual completion percentage is 4.9% over that, making it good for the highest completion percentage over expectation in the league. Now, don't feel bad if you didn't get that the first time, because Nick Sirianni didn't either.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
You don't?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if you're like Sirianni and you didn't quite get it the first time, essentially what it means is that, on average, Jalen Hurts has had to make the second most difficult throws in the entire NFL, as the analytics say that Hurts should be expected to complete just 61.2% of his passes. Now, Jalen is actually completing his passes at a rate 4.9% higher than that, which is the highest mark in the league. So essentially, Jalen Hurts is having to overcome making these difficult throws all the time, which really tells you a lot about the offense. I mean, a lot has been made about the receivers being relied upon too heavily to win one-on-one matchups and not scheming guys open, and the scheme just not giving Jalen Hurts a lot of easy completions, and when you see a stat like this, that point only becomes more true. I mean, the Eagles' offensive playmakers are consistently having to overcome these difficult situations, as well as the scheme in the system at times. Now, I think Liam Jenkins of Philly Sports Network summed up a lot of the offensive issues perfectly in this pretty awesome rant.
Jalen Hurts is 28th in time to throw, 2.7 seconds. He's being blitzed the 6th most time out of any quarterback in the league, but the receivers rank 30th in separation. He's having to wait for them to try and get separation, which they're not getting while being blitzed. Man coverage defenses, where your receivers aren't getting separation, you're going to scheme them long plays where Hurts is in the pocket being blitzed. Look at this. If you still don't think Brian Johnson's an issue, if you've still got doubt that maybe it's Sean Desai, maybe it's Jalen Hurts, or maybe it's the receivers and the tight, shut up. The Eagles are the 7th best team running slants in the league, and they use them the 27th least. The Eagles are the 4th best team running curl routes, and they run them the 28th least of any team. 2 running backs in the backfield, they are 6th most effective. How often do they do it? The 31st most. And you are telling me that it's not Brian Johnson's fault. You're watching AJ Brown running a straight line 18 times in a row to no avail, and you're not thinking, should we maybe do something different? Should we maybe change this up a little bit?
Then I will do an uppercut to him.
No, you won't do. No, what?
Like this. Punch him.
I honestly really think he made a ton of great points there. I mean, the Eagles are well above average and have had success in a lot of different aspects of the offense, but they haven't done these things nearly enough, like, for example, running slant or curl routes or screen passes. Like Jenkins said, the Eagles are great at those things, but they don't do them nearly enough. Now, part of that has to be on Nick Sirianni as an offensive-minded head coach, and you do wonder how much of that is his scheme, but at the same time, this didn't seem to be a problem last year when obviously Sirianni was still the head coach and Shane Steichen was the offensive coordinator, so you then look at Brian Johnson, and you gotta think he's a huge reason for that. But whoever's fault it is, change has got to be made if things are going to get better.
If I can change,
Я думаю, что каждый тоже изменился сегодня.
and you can change,
Вы можете измениться.
everybody can change.
Now, although everyone's mad at Brian Johnson right now, I will give him credit as he's not shying away from taking accountability for the offensive issues and his play calling. I mean, we heard Jordan Mailata say on Wednesday that Brian Johnson actually addressed the team and took full ownership for his bad play calling in the San Francisco game, and quote, he's learned a lot since then. And Coach Johnson actually spoke further on that while giving a message about the Eagles' offense's mindset moving forward.
Well, I think this is all about, accountability and being able to grow through what you go through. And, it was a very, very unique game, and we didn't perform the way that we should. And, ultimately that starts with me. Accountability matters, and being able to hold yourself accountable, for players being able to hold themselves accountable. I think that's all a part of the process and all a part of continuing to find ways to get better. Our story isn't completely written yet. So I think for us, you sit back and we're 14 or 15 weeks in or whatever, but, we still got a lot left to accomplish, and everything is out there in front of us.
So he said it there, the story isn't fully written yet, and they have a lot left to accomplish. Now, to accomplish what they want, changes may have to be made, and one of those changes could be getting DeAndre Swift a little bit more involved, as of course, we know about the Eagles' apparent refusal to run the football consistently recently, which is never good, but it's especially bad when you have a playmaker like Swift as your running back, because with this decrease in running the ball, naturally, he's going to get a lot less opportunities to actually touch the ball and make a difference in games. Now, the coaches know that this just needs to change. DeAndre Swift needs to get more opportunities, whether that be in the run game or also the pass game, and both Nick Sirianni and Brian Johnson admitted this.
Yeah, well, I think you just got to continue to try to get him the ball in different ways, and whether that's in the pass game, whether that's in the jet sweep game, or just handing them some direct runs that don't have read elements to them. I have full confidence in DeAndre. He's an awesome player. He's an even better person. He works his tail off each and every day, and he's had a great year.
We always want to get guys involved. Listen, DeAndre needs to touch the ball more out of the backfield as far as a receiver. He's a dynamic player.
So hopefully we see a little bit of a switch up there and Swift gets more touches, both running the ball as we've been calling for and also as a receiver like Sirianni just said there. And overall, with Brian Johnson clearly realizing that he's made a good amount of mistakes in his play calling, hopefully we see him and the Eagles coaching staff make some of these obvious fixes to the play design and play calling over these next 4 games, and we see the coaching improve as a whole. Although if you ask Jalen Hurts, the players just have to be better. They have to execute the play calls. I mean, first off, we obviously heard Jordan Mailata say that on Wednesday, that the players just haven't executed Johnson's play calls well enough, and Thursday, it was Jalen Hurts who echoed that message as he called out the players saying they just have to execute better during his press conference.
Yeah, I think it's a thing of execution. It's the same answer I've given you guys to every question you guys have asked. It's execution. We have to do a better job of executing.
Do you feel like this offense gives you enough easy throws?
I feel like we're not executing what's going on well enough.
I'd have to agree with Jalen there. I mean, I'd say that the Eagles' offensive struggles have been a combination of both the coaches not being good enough in play calling and in the scheme, but also the players not executing, and that's varied from week to week. But overall, despite all this, for this season, the Eagles have still had a ton of success on offense, and all these problems are fixable ones, so hopefully they're able to fix all of them and bounce back this week. And overall, the team just needs to bounce back if they want to accomplish their goals this year, and it seems like this week there's been a sense of urgency within the organization, and that was brought to light by Jason Kelce. So don't worry, we're going to get into that and a lot more in just a second here, but real quick, I want to say, if you are enjoying this video or finding it informative in any way, and you're part of that 75% of people who haven't done so already, make sure you go down and subscribe, and also, really importantly, turn on notifications so you don't miss exactly when these videos are uploaded. I think that's a win-win for the both of us. I mean, I get more people watching the videos, and you don't miss any other Eagles coverage just like this. And also, while you're at it, if you are enjoying this video, make sure you drop a like on it. I'd greatly appreciate it. It helps me out a ton. And now with that being said, let's get back into the video. So the Wednesday after the loss to the Cowboys, Jason Kelce voiced some of his frustrations on his podcast as he talked about what went wrong in the loss.
We didn't score a touchdown offensively. Moved the ball decently at times, but it's their second week in a row of losing in embarrassing fashion, and it's frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. And we gotta be better. We gotta be more consistent. We gotta take care of the football. 3 turnovers. We gotta score touchdowns. It's been a frustrating couple weeks here, these last 2 games.
Now, despite all the frustrations and the embarrassing losses in back-to-back weeks, it seems like that at least got the Eagles fired up this week, as in an appearance on WIP radio, Kelce was asked what the mood of the team is right now, and this is what he said.
Jason, what would you say the mood of the team is this week?
Yeah, similar to last week. Everybody's pissed off. Whenever you're facing adversity,
everyone's senses are heightened, right? You know, you get into this, you know, these states of, you know, everybody's wanting and anxious really to get things corrected and to be shown what and where and how to do things to make that happen.
So I really like that. I like hearing that this team is pissed off, because they should be, and it's also nice to just hear that they're eager to go and get these issues fixed and respond. And head coach Nick Sirianni had a very similar message to that on Thursday.
We're pissed off. Right? We're pissed off that we haven't played and coached to our standard. And that's what you get when you have a bunch of competitive, highly competitive people at the top of their field of their profession. So we're pissed. And we know that being pissed only lasts for so long, you have to do something about it.
So I really like what he said there at the end. Sure, they can be pissed off. Now they just got to go do something about it. And to bounce back just like the offense, the defense has to find some answers. And defensive coordinator Sean Desai explained why he's so confident that the Eagles will be able to do just that.
I know the people in the building. You know, I know the culture that we have. I know the staff that we have. I know the leaders that we have on defense. And everybody's excited about the opportunity that we've got ahead of us. You know, and then the cool thing is we've got every goal still being to be reached ahead of us, and so we got to really lean into that. You know, I mean, we learn from our past, the good and the bad in the past, and then we got to move forward and own all of our responsibilities and our roles, and then go master them.
So what he said sounds good, but hopefully it's not just talk. Because for the Eagles to get where they want to go, the defense just has to be better. They've been really bad these past few weeks, and just all season they haven't even come close to the standard. So hopefully Desai and the defense actually learn from the past, like he said, and make the necessary adjustments to fix the issues. Although this late in the season, I gotta say I'm not super optimistic, but I guess we'll see. But someone I am pretty optimistic about is the rookie safety Syndey BRown, as he started to play really well over the past couple weeks of the season, and with a bigger role in Sunday's loss to the Cowboys, he really shined. He diagnosed some runs well and shot through gaps to make tackles. He also diagnosed this play action pass well, not even taking a step toward the line of scrimmage on the fake. And he also had this really nice pass breakup after James Bradbury got beat. So I don't know about you, but I really love what I've seen from Syndey BRown these past couple weeks. I think his physicality and his energy is something that this defense has sorely been missing, and I'd love to see him get a bigger role in this defense as the season comes to a close. Although with Blankenship potentially coming back this week, as he was limited in practice on Thursday, I don't know how likely that is, because he definitely is not going to start over him or Kevin Byard. However, there are still ways to get Syndey BRown out on the field more, even with those two playing, so hopefully Sean Desai sees what Sid has done and he puts him out there more. And now just to round this off, we got some big injury updates as of Thursday, with Zach Cunningham, Cam Jurgens, and Darius Slay all missing practice with various injuries, which definitely isn't good because they're all starters and they're all guys that have played well for this team. And if they're not going to have those guys for Monday night, that puts the Eagles in a much tougher position. Now, we don't know much about these injuries or the severity of them, so I'll make sure to keep you guys updated on them later in the week, because again, right now, we don't know if we should be concerned about them or not, and there's probably a decent chance that none of them end up missing the game. Now, we're going to have plenty more coverage leading into this matchup with the Seattle Seahawks, so again, if you don't want to miss any of that, make sure you go right now, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Also, drop a like down on this video if you did enjoy it and want to show some support, and leave a comment down below just regarding anything I talked about in this video. And if you want to watch another video talking about how Josh Sweat is pissed off at the defensive line, while Nick Sirianni has some interesting comments regarding the play calling, you can go check this out right here. And now with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys, so thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.